Yes, madam, you can start.
Okay, we will try it in a different way to understand what is SavePoint and rollback. Can anyone help me with understanding what is transaction control? With the terminology, if anybody could explain what is transaction control. Anybody in the class, any language, whichever you're convenient with. Hello?
Transaction control means we can control the transaction and we can put a checkpoint in so that we can debug or go to a particular, if you want to go to a particular point in a transaction so that we can use this transaction controllers.
Yeah, we are controlling the transaction where we can, we had to make this transaction rollback where you want to go back and erase the changes, something like that. You're just controlling the transaction. How we can do is with SavePoint and rollback. So for example, you have a Visualforce page called, if you have Visualforce page calls an Apex controller, which in turn is calling an additional Apex class. Only when all the Apex code is finished running and the Visualforce page has finished running and the changes committed to the database, that request does not complete. If that request does not complete successfully, all the database changes will be rolled back. This one second. Sorry, I'm back. SavePoint. Sorry. Apex. You generate a SavePoint at a request, and when you and the code between the SavePoint and the rollback, those statements are the one which can be reverted. So if you go down, here in the example, if you see account, you created a new account and inserted an account, but you started the SavePoint here, database.setSavepoint, and there's a SavePoint class, and you're storing that state in SP variable. But I think it's time-based. It's rolling fast. Okay, so account number is equal to 123, and you try to update. Due to some errors, maybe some mandatory field is missing, this update did not happen, then this rollback will not update this value. We already spoke this example last time, so I'm not much focusing on it, but did you guys understand? So I move forward. Hello.
Sir, everyone is following, sir.
మనం ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒక ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చూపించి చెప్తాను. ఇప్పటి వరకు ఏం చెప్పానంటే ఒక ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ కంట్రోల్, మనం ఒక ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ ని కంట్రోల్ చేయడం అంటే ఎలా చేయగలుగుతాము, దాన్ని ఆపి ఏదైనా పని మనకి సక్సెస్ అవ్వకపోతే ఇది కూడా రివర్ట్ బ్యాక్ చేసేయమని చెప్పడానికి ఈ కాన్సెప్ట్ వాడతాం, SavePoint అండ్ రోల్ బ్యాక్. అది ఎలా చేస్తాము అంటే SavePoint అని ఒక క్లాస్ ఉంది. ఆ క్లాస్ లో database.setSavepoint అని ఒక మెథడ్ కాల్ చేసి ఆ పాయింట్ నుంచి అది ఇంకొక డిఫరెంట్ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ లాగా కన్సిడర్ చేస్తుంది. ఈ లైన్ నెంబర్ 6 నుంచి లైన్ 15 వరకు సో దీంట్లో ఏదైనా జరిగింది, ఏదైనా రోల్ బ్యాక్ చేసాము అంటే, ఈ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయిందంటే ఈ ఎస్పీ ఎక్కడ సెట్ చేసామో పాయింట్ అక్కడి వరకు అంతా రోల్ బ్యాక్ అయిపోతుంది, డేటాబేస్ కి కమిట్ అవ్వదు. సో ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 2 కొంచెం చైల్డ్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ అలా తీసుకొని చేశాను, డిఫరెంట్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ తీసుకొని. సో మనం ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఆపర్చునిటీ ఉంది, మనం ఒక ప్రోడక్ట్ అమ్ముదాం అనుకుంటున్నాము, ఆపర్చునిటీ వచ్చింది. సో దాంట్లో నేను అమౌంట్ అనే ఒక ఫీల్డ్ తీసుకొని దాంట్లో ఇప్పుడు కమిషన్ 20% వేసాను అనుకోండి. సో అమౌంట్ ఇంటూ 20% కమిషన్ లో సేవ్ చేసుకున్నాను, అమౌంట్ కమిషన్ యాడ్ చేసి దీనికి అప్డేట్ చేశాను. Then but
can you
explain in okay yeah sorry yeah. So we go, I said the save point on the top. So this transaction is if any error occurs in any of this transaction, everything will be rolled back. Okay, so I'm trying to explain you the code. So when I change my screen, okay, when I'm in the full screen, it doesn't let me change the screen. Okay, can you guys see? Is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So opportunity, I took the amount and multiplied with 20% commission and took the commission amount to a side and added the commission to the main amount. That's the total amount. So I'm updating the opportunity. Then I create an object called commission and took the object owner as an agent and added to it and commission to the commission object field amount. Then I took the account where I added this opportunity account ID and got there's a field that I created, discounted percentage. I'm adding 20% discount and updating this. If any error that occurs, any transaction fails in these three, I wrote the rollback statement in catch block. So if exception happens, when it try to execute the system.debug, the next thing happens is database.rollback this save point. Till this, from this save point to rollback, everything will be rollbacked. Rollback means it doesn't commit to the database. Please stop if you don't understand or anything doesn't make sense.
Sudha ma'am, one thing like here we are mentioning this rollback now and save point at the top of the transaction, right? Even though if we didn't mention anything, if any error occurs, this entire transaction will be rolled back, right?
Yes.
So if we mention that save point at middle of transaction, then only up to that point it will roll back. Above
yes.
all states will commit.
Yes. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Okay, if a person is transferring money to a different person's bank account, I'm very bad at drawing, so please bear with me. So if this person has $1,000 rupees in their account and he's transferring some amount like 200 to another guy. So when transferring, two steps would happen. One is balance of a person. Let's call this person as A and this person as B. If balance of this person minus amount sent to B is total balance of A person. Did you guys get this? Balance amount of this person, 1000 minus 200 is his balance, 800. Right? If nobody is talking, I think everybody understands.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So balance of B plus to amount sent from A. So I'll put it as A, even though they both are same amount, is equal to total balance for B, right? This guy has to say this guy has $100 rupees in his account. 100 rupees plus amount transferred from this guy should be, total will be 300. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
So this is one transaction and this is second transaction. This transaction is successful and this guy's account money has been deducted and his balance is 800. But this transaction failed and this guy still has the same amount as 100. So in such scenarios, for them to debug why it went wrong, they have to revert this transaction and give his money back to in his account. So if this transaction fails, you are rolling back this transaction. Did you guys get it? What scenarios?
Everyone is clear, sir, actually. So madam is saying, right, for example, A person is having $1,000, B person is having $100 now. Initial amount is $1,000 and $100. So now Sudha madam is sending $200 to the Aparna madam. Okay, what happens, sir? If Sudha sends $200 to the Aparna madam, what is Aparna madam balance actually? It should happen $300.
300.
Yes. Sudha madam balance is remaining
800.
So Sudha madam balance is actually 200 is deducted. It is showing 800 correctly, but Aparna madam balance is still, it is not updated. Still it is showing $100. So what is the meaning of it one? Still $100 showing means what? Still she is not received actually. Ante kada?
Yes, sir.
Still she is not received means what? One transaction is Sudha madam transaction is successful done, but Aparna madam transaction is not done successfully. She is not yet received that $200 whatever she Sudha madam is sending. So here two transactions, one is success, another one is fail. Okay. In this case, what we can do is we can roll back complete operation. Okay. Even one transaction is wrong, one transaction is not happening, we can roll back complete operation. So rollback means what rollback will do is even Sudha madam balance also, again whatever the $200 is missing to, right, that dollars again will add to the Sudha madam, right? The transaction complete transaction will be cancelled again. Understands everyone what I'm saying? Even Sudha madam dollars also, it will revert to the Sudha madam, so it will not reduce the balance for Sudha madam also if you use a rollback after the second transaction. Understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
This is very good example what madam is showing. Okay.
So this entire scenario is not considered as a one. If it is happening in two separate places, then it's two transactions, right? What will happen
so this is considered as one transaction, but if in this one transaction, if something goes wrong in the middle, so you set a save point. You set a save point here. If all these things goes correct, then you don't have to roll back. I'm putting a try here, and I'm putting a catch here, catch block. So if this entire transaction goes good and no exceptions occurred, then it's good. You don't have to roll back. But if exception happened and it comes to this thing, even though this sequence of code is executed perfectly, but this went wrong, I don't want this to be committed to the database. I want it to revert back. So from SP till the rollback statement, if exception occurs, this whole sequence of lines are reverted back.
Okay. So as per my understanding, if these two transactions happening in one button event or one event, this both consider as one, right? So if first transaction is correct and second transaction is failed, both the transactions will be rolled back by default. Is that correct or no?
Yes.
That's correct. Yeah.
So then
But
what's the
it's
point
not
to-
that it is not by default. It is not by default. You are setting it in that way. If one transaction fails, and revert back the whole sequence of code from this point to this point. So if you come here, you see, I don't know how to highlight things, but in PowerPoint. But if you see, I set the save point here on the top, the first line. And when I'm doing all this, I will show you. I wrote this code in my org, and I'll show you how it works. If I intentionally did not add an account to the opportunity. When this part is null, it cannot update. It has an exception occurred. It comes here and it rollbacks everything.
Okay,
So if we go,
I mean, I think we have not. I haven't seen this save point example before, so that's why I'm saying so far I think whatever developer class.
This is a new topic. That's why I'm.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a new topic. We did not come across this. That's why I'm making sure you guys understand each and everything.
But even by default, all DML operations and all will roll back if any error, right? It won't commit in between, right?
I couldn't get your point, but when you're using by default, it is not done by default. It is done when you set a point.
And still now we have not used any save point, right? So if any transaction is failing in between, means it is not committing to database. It is entirely rolling back, right?
Yeah. See, if I don't write a save point on the top, and it doesn't make sense to write this, it gives you a compilation error. So these two statements won't be there. And if an error occurs here, these two will be committed, but this won't be committed. Because error occurred here, not here. But why I'm setting the save point? If I set a save point here, if any of these three fails, any one fails, revert everything. I don't want any changes to the database. All the update, this insertion will also fail if this update fails.
Okay. So I think I was understanding differently then. I think I was in impression that, let's say if we are talking about contact, and if we hit save button, if there are two update and one insert happening, if something happen on first, second, or third, it should roll back entirely. That's what I was understanding. So maybe I'm wrong then in that scenario.
Yeah, you are thinking from UI perspective, but I am telling you in the code. So when you click on save on a contact, and this code is getting executed, and when you click on save, you are also updating this opportunity, this commission object, this account object, and one fails. Till where the set point you set, that's where it goes back, and it doesn't commit all these changes to the database. Let's see in the code and then understand. Okay. So I guess I don't have, this doesn't say. Okay. Okay. So in the org, if you see go to the opportunities, cell projector, details, you see account. See, I did not associate any accounts here. Okay. So when you come back to the code, you see I'm querying the opportunity, getting the opportunity, and updating the amount here with a 20% commission added to it. And I'm also updating this commission object with the opportunity owner and the commission amount. And I'm taking this opportunity account ID, which is null right now. So I'm giving it here, but since it's null and this transaction will fail, it comes to the catch block, and this statement executes. When this statement executes, it should not update these two commission. These two statements will not be committed to the database. Let's see. So let's keep them in mind. In opportunity, there's no account, and amount is $1. Let's give 100,000. Okay, just for us to.
You can add debug logs for each statement, madam.
Okay.
And can you please do one thing here? Like, let's start from without having save point. Can you please comment those two lines and see what error we get, and then we
so you tell me, okay, if I don't put a save point, okay, forget about save point. When I'm doing this, when this block of code is executing, there is an error occurred here. This part is null. What happens?
Yeah. So as per my understanding, I was understand that like entire transaction, all three update inside whatever happened, it should roll back. That's what I was understanding. So
no, all this code we wrote all this time. So if any error occurs, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. Let's go on to the presentation. Then probably I will understand. Maybe I'm not sure about other, but I am a little bit.
Is that I just have to revert back everything to explain again to the other. Okay, anyway, we'll try. Executed. Debug logs. Error occurred, okay, at line 20. So let's see what all are updated here. We added from the second code, line of code, what did we add? 20% to the amount, right? This update should happen in the opportunity. That amount, O.amount should be updated with, let's see. Now it's 1200. So this update is successful. Let's go to commission. Commissions. Yep. Why this commission is not owner ID? Opportunities. Okay, insert failed, DML exception, field integrity exception, agent ID is incorrect. And the string form. Agent ID value of incorrect type.
Open just lookup field and check once. That is which
I
field?
think I created a text field.
Sir, meanwhile, I'll tell you one example. Sir, I have one form, like a VF page form is there. There I have 3 objects data. First one is account, second one is contact, third one is opportunity. 3 records I'm entering data in the same form. So I have one button called save button in that form. Okay. So I am entering data in all the 3 records: account, contact, and opportunity. Okay. I'm not using any save points here. Just leave about save point. Okay. I'm using this normal records only. account contact opportunity. For example, account record is valid data is there, contact also valid data is there, but in the opportunity there is some validation. Because of that validation, what is happening is the opportunity record is failing. Okay, sir. So what will happen in this case? Account contact will insert or not insert?
Insert, sir.
It will insert, right? Only which record will fail?
Opportunity.
Opportunity. Why it is failing?
Because we didn't give a
Because
save
of some
point.
validations in the background. Okay. So in the same case, what I'm doing is before account insertion, right? Before account inserted, I'm putting a one save point, a save point, sp equal database set save point. Okay. So in the try block, I'm inserting all these three record: account, contact, opportunity. In the catch block, what I'm doing is rollback, sp dot rollback. Where I'm putting save point now? Before account transaction. Where I'm putting rollback in case of exception catch, I'm putting rollback. So if I click save save button now, so even the account data is correct, contact data is correct, but even any one transaction is failed here because of the save point rollback classes. Complete operation will be rollback. Following, sir, what I'm saying, Jigar sir?
Yeah. Actually, I got what exactly Sudhamna was saying. It's just that I was understanding inversely. That's why I was just trying to understand. And I think by entering, like I just saw that opportunity has updated the record. That means that even though transaction failed, still that object value is already been updated. So now I exactly understand what exactly it is. Yeah.
My exception happened because I'm trying to give a user ID to an account ID. I created agent as an account lookup instead of user. Now I create a new field with an account because it's not a to build. We'll figure out why later. So o.owner ID, I'm assigning it to user ID now. Now I'll have the save point. If you're clear, I can. Should I put the save point?
Yes.
Let's put the save point, because without save point, everything will be rolled back. Okay, now here we have our owner ID. We have opportunity has a owner ID, and we have commission. We are just here, and account ID is null in the. Account ID is null. You see here, account name. This is null. So our transaction should roll back everything. So here it will have an exception, and it will come here, and it will execute this data exception occurred, and it will roll back. Okay, let's see if our amount has been deducted. I will clear it, make it 1,000. So we know. Okay. Let's execute.
Madam, 1 minute, madam. Before that, just you can put a system.debug after line number 110, like system.debug. Don't comment, madam. Comment. This is saying.
Sorry.
So just that system.debug opportunity info on petty. So that we can see in the debug log what happened initially.
Oh, just opportunity మొత్తం object print చేస్తాం.
Yeah, madam. Oh, you can close that. Ending column is missing. Same for contact and same for commission and same for account. So at least we can see in the debug log also.
This will be null.
Semicolon miss అయిందండి, semicolon system dot above
116, ma'am. Line number 116.
116.
So let's execute. Let's execute now. This is 100. Debug only. exception occurred, opportunity, we got the ID, amount is 1200. Commission, it created an object and with the commission amount as 200. But in the third statement, it exception occurred. Let's go back to UI and see if these two are committed or not. This amount 1200. Amount is still 1000 because it rolled back because of an exception. Let's see commission if any record has been created or not.
No, it will not create, madam, because it is rollback,
Yeah.
no?
Rollbacking. Yeah, I wanted to show him. So
But in the
show
debug
them.
log, you can see, sir, it is created. Because of third transaction, both the 10th line and 15th lines are again reverted. Understand, sir? In the debug log, we can see, but whenever the action error is coming in the third record, automatically it is rolled back. That again, whatever happened in the previously, those two also, it is reverted actually. That is called rollback.
Did you get it?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
So, sorry?
I said thank you.
Oh, no, not a problem. Now let's add an account to the opportunity and then see if those work. I don't know how many accounts I have. Okay. Let's add some. Save. Now I'll execute this code again. Still an exception occurred. 1 2 9. Update failed.
Account required field is missing, I guess, madam. In the account, there is a
Oh,
field for
SLA.
SL. Hmm.
Yeah. I was testing, so I gave this as mandatory field. Yeah, sorry. Okay. No, I did not get any exception. Let's go to UI and refresh and see. Here amount is 200. We have this account. Let's go to commissions and see. See if one commission is created with an amount 200. But did you guys notice? Even just now I noticed. I gave this sequence and it 1 2 failed, but 3 is successful. So sequence number 3 it started with. Did you guys understand?
Yes,
Yes.
madam. Previous two records are failed, na?
So yeah,
That is deleted.
it reverted back everything. That's why it is equal to generate from first. It generated 3. And if you want to go check account, what are the fields we updated? Discount percentage. You see here 20%. Let's come back to the presentation. We just saw this example. Let's move on. There are some limitations for the save point variables and rollback the database. If you set more than one save point, these are a little tricky, but I want you guys to focus and try to understand. Below interview questions are mostly on this, and I searched a lot of sample interviews on Google. They're only asking the limitations more, where it cannot be applied, where the save point doesn't work, where it gives a runtime error. So if you're trying to set multiple set points, save point 1, like SP1, and you set in SP2, and you roll back SP1, your SP2 is no longer valid. You will receive a runtime error. Did you guys understand?
Once again, ma'am.
So if I put a save point SP1 here, and I create another save point in the middle somewhere, SP2, and something happened, I'm rolling back only SP1, this SP2 is invalid. So it gives you a runtime error. You cannot set multiple save points.
Save point.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So you cannot have nested save. Is that correct?
Yes. It's not nested. If you see, you create this SP1 variable and you roll back that SP1 variable. You write here as a parameter as SP1. If you create an SP2 and you roll back after this rollback, it doesn't work. It doesn't make sense. This is rolling back till here, and you wanted to execute this, and where you will roll back. These are already rolled back. So that's why that way you cannot set. If you set this code as SP1, and after this you set SP2, it works. So
okay, so you have to roll back before you set up the new one.
Like you finish one variable, rolling back one variable, then you can set another set point and roll back that variable. But you cannot roll back in between and try to roll back later. It won't work. It doesn't make sense. References of the save point cannot cross trigger invocations because each trigger invocation is a new trigger context. If you declare a save point as a static variable and then try to use this cross trigger context, you will receive a runtime error. So when you run a trigger, the trigger runs on the trigger context, on that context variable that you guys pretty much know. But when you try to put a save point in the trigger, you cannot roll back it because it's only in that context. But if you give a static if you declare a static variable, it stores the previous value, but it gives you a runtime error. Did you guys understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, understand, Sudha.
Okay, each save point you can set each save point and each rollback is considered it sets a count. It counts against the governor limit for DML statements. So these two are the same. They are covered by governor limits. Static variables are not reverted back during the rollback. Static variables what are static variables? We create a static variable which has some heap memory where it creates and stores the variable, and it doesn't change. It doesn't. It's like it. If we create a variable to a class and you call it with that variable, and you create another variable and you call it with a. Can anyone explain me what is static variable?
Yesterday we discussed, right, sir?
Static variable made on the stat across transactions.
Static variable which will store the memory until the state in the same state. So if the value, even the variable has been reset, the value will not be changed. you can use it for further operations with the old value only.
Actually, static variables are it's a variables. Actually, overall class. It belongs to an overall class, not a particular object of the class, right?
So manam oka class ki if we have two variables for one class and I set a static variable value as 10, some x value as x variable as 10, what happens when you trying to call the second instance? What is the value of x? Static variables, they don't change, they override the values. So if in the second class you try to override that value, that static variable, it overrides. If not, it still takes the previous value.
Yes.
Okay, because it has the same memory that's allocated for it. It's not based on the variables that we create, class variables that we create. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఒక క్లాస్ కి ఒక వేరియబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తేనే ఆ క్లాస్ కి ఒక మెమరీ క్రియేట్ అవుతుంది. బట్ స్టాటిక్ వేరియబుల్స్, even though you don't create a variable for it, a memory is allocated. So మనం ఈ సెకండ్ వేరియబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేసినా ఇట్ డజంట్ మ్యాటర్, దాని వేరియబుల్ దాని వాల్యూ అంతే ఉంటుంది. వీ కెన్ ఓవర్ రైట్ దోస్ వాల్యూస్. లేదు నేను సెకండ్ వేరియబుల్ పెట్టుకొని దాని ఆ సెకండ్ వేరియబుల్ తర్వాత ఎక్స్ ఇస్ ఈక్వల్ టు 20 అని పెడితే ఆ 10 మీద 20 రీప్లేస్ అవుతుంది. సో రోల్ బ్యాక్ లో స్టాటిక్ వేరియబుల్స్ వర్క్అవుట్ కాదు roll back because it's already created and it cannot roll back anything.
Static variable memory gets memory outundi only once in the class area, right? The time of class loading.
So all static variables are loaded right before when all the classes are loaded into the into the RAM runtime memory. So first load అయ్యేది classic static variables. దాని తర్వాత మనం ఆ క్లాస్ కి వేరియబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేసే దాన్ని బట్టి దాని యూసేజ్ ఉంటుంది.
అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు కంపెనీ ఉందనుకోండి, నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ ఉంటారు, కొలీగ్స్ ఉంటారు, నేమ్ ఆఫ్ స్టూడెంట్స్ ఉంటారు, ఎక్సెట్రా లైక్. సో అప్పుడు అలాంటి సిచ్యువేషన్ లో మనం ఫస్ట్ ఒక క్లాస్ లోడ్ అయినప్పుడు మిగతా వాటికి మనం మెమరీ ఎట్లా చేయొచ్చు అంటారు, అంతే కదా?
అంటే ఇప్పుడు నేను ఎలా చెప్పాను ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఇప్పుడు ఒక ఫిక్స్ వాల్యూస్ ఉన్నాయి. ఇప్పుడు టైం ఉంది, ఎవ్రీబడి హ్యాస్ టు క్లాక్ ఇన్ బై సెకండ్ బై టైం అనుకోండి. అంటే రాంగ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, రాంగ్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్, బట్ జస్ట్ మీకు ఒక ఐడియా కోసం అందరు 9 గంటల 9 o'clock కి చెక్ ఇన్ అవ్వాలి. సో దట్ వేరియబుల్ డజంట్ చేంజ్, దట్ వాల్యూ డజంట్ చేంజ్. అండ్ మన ఫైనల్ గురించి తర్వాత మాట్లాడదాం. స్టాటిక్ వేరియబుల్ లో నేను 9 o'clock అని పెట్టాను. ఎంతమంది రానివ్వండి, ఎంతమంది ఆ వేరియబుల్ అంతే ఉంటుంది, 9 o'clock కల్లా చెక్ ఇన్ అవ్వాలి. అట్లా నేను ఇచ్చిన రాంగ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, బట్ అర్థమైంది కదా?
అర్థమైంది.
So those variables cannot be rolled back, even though our trigger context lo manam static variable or state ni a save point ni static అని చేసి దాన్ని మనం roll back చేయడానికి ట్రై చేస్తే it won't work.
వేరియబుల్ ఒకసారి ఇనిషియలైజ్ అవుతుంది, రైట్? సో
ఇప్పుడు మన ప్రీవియస్ స్లైడ్ లోకి వెళ్ళి ఇక్కడ సేవ్ పాయింట్ ముందు స్టాటిక్ అని పెట్టామనుకోండి, ఇక్కడ స్టాటిక్ అని పెట్టామనుకోండి, నేను సారీ నా ఫింగర్ చూపిస్తే ఇక్కడ స్టాటిక్ పెట్టాను అనుకోండి, ఇట్ వోంట్ వర్క్.
Madam, for example, save point. So for example, I have one static variable. Okay, example assume static variable is public static. Okay, integer fee. Okay, I have default fee. I have given $100. Okay, but in the after save point in the try block, what I'm doing is I'm increasing that fee. Course fee equal to course fee equal to course fee plus $100. Total how much now? Previously at the time of declaration, what is the value I have given? $100, right? So then what happened? Madam, declare one variable, madam, before save point static variable. I think you can declare here or not, I'm not sure. Yeah, you can declare one variable. Static course fee. Static integer course fee equal to $100.
Course.
Integer, madam. Static integer course fee.
Integer. Okay, integer value.
Course fee equal to $100. So this is one static variable. Declare this variable before save point, madam. Copy and cut it and paste in 103 before. So now what you can do is increase the course fee equal to course fee plus $100. So now what is the price, madam, now? Course fee?
$200.
Sure. So that course fee will not revert, but in our records will revert, right? But this course fee will not revert. That is the meaning.
Okay.
అర్థమైందా?
Hmm.
ఇప్పుడు మనకు అకౌంట్ కమిషన్ ఇస్ రివర్టెడ్, బట్ దిస్ కోర్స్ విల్ నాట్ రివర్టెడ్. వై ఇట్ విల్ నాట్ రివర్ట్? బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ఇస్ a static variable. Even though rollback is happen, it will store still $200 only, even though your other records are rolled back. అర్థమవుతుందా మేడం?
debug statements పెట్టాను.
It will not work, madam. You are not using rollback, nothing using, so it will not work. If you
పెట్టాను
declare
సార్ నేను.
పెట్టారా rollback? Okay. అంటే ఇప్పుడు సంథింగ్ ఎర్రర్ రావాలి కదా
ఇది
మేడం.
బాగా అర్థమవుతుంది అందుకని.
అర్థం కాలే మేడం.
అంటే ఇక్కడ ఇన్స్టెన్స్ యూజ్ చేసే పని లేదు కదా, నో నీడ్ ఆఫ్ క్రియేటింగ్ ఇన్స్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ క్లాస్, రైట్?
క్లాస్ లేదు మేడం.
ఇన్స్టెన్స్ వరకు ఆలోచించదు మీరు. ఓన్లీ రోల్ బ్యాక్ కాన్సెప్ట్ అర్థం చేసుకోండి. మనం మల్టిపుల్ మాట్లాడితే మళ్ళీ
స్టాటిక్ గురించి చెప్తుంటే చెప్తాను, ఇన్స్టెన్స్ యూజ్ చేసే పని లేదు కదా స్టాటిక్ అయితే.
యా ఇన్స్టెంట్ యూజ్ కానీ మనం అవుట్ ఆఫ్ క్లాస్ వెళ్ళట్లేదు కదా, సేమ్ క్లాస్ లో ఉన్నాం కదా. సో ఇంకా మనం అనానిమస్ విండో కదా, అసలు దాని స్టాటిక్ నాన్ స్టాటిక్ అసలు చూడక్కర్లేదు. సో ఇప్పుడు నేను ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తాను. ఆఫ్టర్ రోల్ బ్యాక్ ఎంత ప్రింట్ అవ్వాలి? ఆఫ్టర్ రోల్ బ్యాక్ ఎంత, కానీ ఏదైనా ఎక్సెప్షన్ అవుతే కానీ ప్రింట్ అవ్వదు, రోల్ బ్యాక్ అవ్వదు కదా సార్. అన్నది అదనమాట.
So you can see $200, madam, here. Okay, even the error వచ్చినా కూడా it will be $200 only. It will not change.
ఎందుకంటే స్టాటిక్ వేరియబుల్ దిస్ హ్యాస్ ద సేమ్ మెమరీ, యు ఆర్ ఓవర్ రైడింగ్ దిస్ వేరియబుల్, సో ఇట్ డజంట్ మ్యాటర్, ఇట్ డజంట్ రోల్ బ్యాక్, ఇట్ డజంట్ కేర్ బికాస్ ఇట్స్ స్టాటిక్.
అంతే మేడం.
ఇప్పుడు కావాలంటే మనం ఇక్కడ ఇది స్టాటిక్ తీసేస్తే, సో స్టాటిక్ తీసేసి రోల్ బ్యాక్ అవుతుందా సార్? ఈ స్టేట్మెంట్ అవ్వాలి కదా.
సో ఎర్రర్ వస్తే అవుతుంది మేడం రోల్ బ్యాక్. ఎర్రర్ రావద్దా ఇప్పుడు?
క్యాచ్ లో పెట్టలేదు సార్, నేను జస్ట్ రోల్ బ్యాక్ అని పెట్టా, సో అవ్వాలి కదా.
అవ్వదు మేడం, ఇది ఎర్రర్ వస్తేనే రోల్ బ్యాక్
ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది. ఓకే క్యాచ్.
సో రోల్ బ్యాక్ ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అవ్వాలంటే సంథింగ్ ఎర్రర్ నీడ్స్ టు కమ్, రైట్ మేడం? ఎర్రర్ రాకుండా నార్మల్ వేరియబుల్ అయినా ఏ వేరియబుల్ అయినా రోల్ బ్యాక్ అవ్వదు. బట్ స్టాటిక్ వేరియబుల్ అయితే ఏ సినారియోలో రోల్ బ్యాక్ అవ్వదు. నార్మల్ వేరియబుల్స్ విల్ రోల్ బ్యాక్ యాజ్ పర్ యువర్ స్టేట్మెంట్ ఇన్ ద. ఏం అవ్వదు మేడం, ఏం చేంజెస్ 110 కనిపిస్తుంది ఏం చోట్ల.
ఎక్సెప్షన్ అయితే ఇట్ రోల్స్ బ్యాక్. సో లిమిటేషన్స్, ఈ లాస్ట్ లిమిటేషన్ సార్ నేను ఇది బాగా చెప్పకపోవచ్చు, మీరు చెప్పాలి. ID of an object inserted after setting the save point is not cleared after the rollback. సో ఇందాక మనం కమిషన్ చూసాం కదండి, when you saw commissions, where is it? When you saw here, it's 003, 001, 002. They are created. Since they are rolled back, if I try to create their IDs here, if I say the system.debug, this shows me the ID. When you saw before, you would have seen there is an ID created for it. So you have seen somewhere, right? The IDs are created, but it will roll back. So when you're trying to, what is that exception is saying is, even though its ID is created and you try to update with this ID, like c dot ani, then we are updating some value. ఇలా చేస్తే రన్ టైమ్ ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది అని చెప్తుంది ఎక్సెప్షన్. An ID of an S object inserted after setting the save point is not cleared after a rollback. Create an S object to insert after a rollback. Attempting to insert the S object using the variable created before the rollback fails because the S object variable has an ID. Updating or upserting the S object using the same variable also fails because S object is not in the database and thus cannot be updated. I know it's confusing. It took some time for me, but did it make sense to everybody? అర్థమైందండి? మళ్ళీ చెప్పనా? ఇందాక ఇఫ్ యూఆర్ నాట్ ఆన్సరింగ్ అనుకుంటాను మీకు అర్థం కాలేదని. మనం ఇందాక కమిషన్ అనే ఒక ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేసాము, బట్ రోల్ బ్యాక్ అయిపోవడం వల్ల ఇక్కడ నేను సీక్వెన్స్ క్రియేట్ చేశాను. 001 002 అని రాలేదు, మనకి 003 క్రియేట్ అయింది. అంటే అర్థం ఏంటంటే ఇట్ క్రియేటెడ్, దానికి ఐడి క్రియేట్ చేసింది. సిన్స్ వి సెడ్ రోల్ బ్యాక్, అవి డిలీట్ చేసేసింది.
So old records, madam, last time what happened when the transaction is failed, it is created 2 records, right? Commission record and updated opportunity, right? That time what happened is, it is 002 is created. Because of that transaction, it is failed. Okay. So now again, if you are going to use that old one in you are updating and all that time, it will throw the error message. That's what they are saying. You cannot use that old IDs. It will fail again transaction because that is not exist in database. Old records will not exist in database.
అర్థమైందా?
Yes.
Hello, everybody understood?
Yes.
Yeah, here we committed this, inserted commission, and if I try to update C dot something outside the rollback, it won't work because this transaction is rolled back and there is no ID in the database. Even the ID is created here, but it is not committed to the database. That's what the exception is. Thus, it cannot be updated.
Understood, ma'am.
Okay, let's go. Can anybody help me with this? If you set more than one save point, then roll back to a save point that is not the last save point you generated. What will happen to the later save point variable?
Becomes invalid.
Correct.
Runtime error.
Gives you a runtime error.
Oh.
So what happens when sending an emails in Apex after the save point? Can anybody guess?
It will trigger. I think it will be in queue. And
Email వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత మనం ఏం రోల్ బ్యాక్ చేయలేం కదా.
సో ఈమెయిల్స్ మన సీక్వెన్స్ ఆఫ్ కోడ్ అంతా ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయిపోయాక మెయిల్ పంపించేస్తుంది. సో మనం దాన్ని రోల్ బ్యాక్ చేయలేం.
కరెక్ట్.
Any calls or messaging after the save point will be undone, meaning the email will be removed from the message queue to the email to send, which is why email is only sent after the Apex script is completed. So మనం రాంగ్ గా చెప్పాను నేను, సారీ. ఈమెయిల్స్ మనం క్యూలో మెసేజ్ క్యూలో సేవ్ అయి ఉంటాయి. ఒక్కొక్క మెసేజ్ క్యూలో సేవ్ అయి ఉంటుంది. సో మెసేజ్ క్యూలో నుంచి రిమూవ్ చేసేస్తుంది. అందుకనే మనం కోడ్ అంతా ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ అయిన తర్వాత మనం ఈమెయిల్స్ పంపిస్తాం. అర్థమైందా? Did it make sense? Anybody understood? It will revert back. Save point will be insert.
Yes, you are right. Understand.
Any calls to the messaging.send email after the save point will be undone, meaning the email will be removed from the message queue of the email to send, which is why email is only sent after the Apex script is completed. What happens in the @future or queuable jobs? Anybody guess?
Future.
It will roll back, madam, till maybe even though future you are calling in the save point. Any methods called within rollback part of your script will not be involved. That's why
Any methods called within the rollback part of your script will not be will not be involved. That's why @future does not start until the script completes. I'll change it and send it. Can anybody remember any few limitations on transaction control? Can anybody tell me?
Each save point and rollback is one DML statement. So it will count against DMLs.
Two DML, sir. Save point of a DML, rollback of a DML.
Save point one DML and rollback one DML, madam.
Yes, sir.
Two DML statement. Okay. There is only.
Try to ఇప్పుడే మనం ఇప్పుడే చేసాం.
You can check that code, madam, in the DML debug. How many DML statement happened?
Actually, future. Okay.
Yeah, ఒక్క నిమిషం చెక్ చేద్దాం మనం. సేవ్ పాయింట్ ఎన్ని DMLs అయినా. This one's a DML statement 2 out of 150.
I think this is old code, madam.
Old. Okay. Same 2 అనే చూపిస్తుంది సార్.
ఇవన్నీ ఓల్డ్ కోడ్ మేడం. లేదు ఓల్డ్ ఒకసారి ఒక పని చేయండి, అకౌంట్ జస్ట్ రివర్ట్ చేసి క్రియేట్ చేయండి వన్ మోర్
మనం ఓకే ఇవి చేసినట్టు.
రిమూవ్ ఆల్ దిస్ కోడ్. ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ వన్ సెకండ్ మేడం, నో ప్రాబ్లం. అదర్వైజ్ open latest one. So now inside a try block 3 DMLs, right madam? Normal DML
as per what they said. 4 out of 150, sir.
So what's the meaning is DML save point and rollback is nothing but a one statement. Remaining 3 is inside a try block.
1, 2, 3.
And roll save point and rollback is one.
One statement, yes. Yeah, I can add that point here.
That is a certification question. I have seen that question in certification.
But sir, when they gave in the limitation, they said each rollback counts against the government limits.
Rollback is nothing but rollbacking is nothing but save point only. We are passing parameter.
Malli ikkada each set point you set counts against the government limits are icharu. అంటే రెండు సెపరేట్ గా ఇచ్చారు సార్. నేను చూసినప్పుడు అనుకున్నా టూ
అదేం కాదు మేడం. సో బోత్ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ వన్ ఓన్లీ.
ఒక నిమిషం సార్, మీ ముందే అప్డేట్ చేస్తాం. మళ్ళీ మర్చిపోతాం. ఏమని ఉంటుంది సార్?
Both save point and rollback will come under one DML statement. Save point and rollback statements.
Okay, we are done. We have any questions for me?
No, madam, it is very clear.
No, ma'am, the presentation was
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for presentation. It is very clear, Astika. So remember, sir, this is very important topic. Sometimes this type of questions also they will ask in the interview. What is save point? What is rollback?